Penalty taker is Pulisic. I don't know why the players changed their minds. I spoke to him and said it must never happen again, but it didn't seem like anyone changed their mind except for Tammy Abraham.
The conversation came up, yesterday about Christian taking the ball away, because clearly, based on what we're reading here from the manager, this is Christian's responsibility. And I said, it's just not Christian, right? It's not him to go. He's not going to be in that video that we've seen almost every year, Chelsea, or where two guys are fighting over a ball.
Remember when it happened with Jermaine Defoe
in Toronto?
In TFC.
Wow.
Remember that? But then the guy scored, right?
He's not going to be the guy in that video. It's just not going to be him. It's not his personality. I think moving forward, if we see anything, there'll be maybe another player that comes along and goes, no. Remember what the manager said in the dressing room?
Right.
This is Christian. Give the ball to him. But he's not going to be that guy.
But should it be Christian Pulisic?
Yeah.
Should that be
Should he develop to the point where he stands on business, so to speak?
I think he understands.
Well, he was going
Christian,
for the
we
ball.
need you to stand on business.
Stand
Come
on
on.
business,
At
Christian.
Milan, I think he understands that Milan at the moment, first of all, absolutely the optics, but just given their recent history, like the one little feather in Fonseca's cap right now is the Derby de la Madonnina win. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? It's been pretty rocky. And now you lose to Fiorentina. Pulisic is a smart guy, and he knows that when you take a penalty kick, it's going to look terrible for Milan. Like, you don't want to be fighting over a ball. Like, how petty did it look at Chelsea?
Okay,
like,
can we play out your scenario?
Hold
on, let's play out your scenario.
This is not the hill that I want to die on.
You don't do it because of the optics. Fine, you don't do it because of the optics. And listen, I'm a backer of Christian Pulisic, but
it's a penalty.
Hold on, but that's still his role, and it's known across the team. So to do that publicly is embarrassing. It is disrespecting Christian Pulisic. If we want Christian Pulisic to grow to be a leader for the squad, I get everything you're saying.
On the global level,
it's not his role. But he needs to be the guy that says, we're not going to handle this outside, but when we get to the locker room, what you did to me before, forehead to forehead. Hey, don't ever do that to me again. He's got to be the one to say it, not the manager. He's got to be the one to say it to the rest of his team. It's my role.
It's easy to say. It's like asking me right now to run a 100-yard dash in 10 seconds. It's just not going to happen. It's not in your personality. It's not in the DNA.
Buddy, I got these skates
but
with
the manager,
on them.
I think the manager did a really good job of making this clear. I think, personally, Christian Pulisic looks so much better today for not having fought for a penalty kick that now the manager has cleared up the issues now.
I agree with all that.
We'd be saying the same thing
He became a leader
that we were talking about post that scuff up between, who was it, Palmer and Nico Jackson, whoever else it was, in Madueke? I forget who it was. Regardless.
Right. And Pochettino cleared after that. And the season turned around
but hold
after
on,
that.
but that's a different situation because, well, listen, Pulisic is smarter than that. I think he has more experience, and he didn't want to make more of it than it was. And
what
I do
happens
agree
after that?
On the other side,
What happens after that?
Pulisic, I don't think, has the credibility in European football to be like
he's
to be
the best player on this team right now
in 6 match days.
That hasn't changed because of this.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's changed because of that, but this guy, he's earned the respect of saying, if I'm the penalty taker, he's never missed one for a club or country ever.
But you think everybody around him knows
Who cares?
that?
At some point, you have to put your foot down.
I think he is putting his foot down. He's a leading goal scorer. He's a leading assist guy.
No, not just with that. Not just with that. It's after the game. If you're not going to handle it on the pitch,
that makes a mockery of the game. They've already got Leao. They already got Teo Hernandez that are problem children that they need to get rid of at some point.
He's smarter
he becomes
than that.
number 3 at that point. The guy that wants to argue.
I agree.
Because
it's a goal for a guy whose job is to score goals and facilitate goals. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to be disrespected on national television. That's the last thing. If that happens, fine, you don't handle it there. But the moment you walk into that locker room, a forearm,
I don't think he was disrespected.
No, he grabbed the ball and he said, no, I'm taking it.
He wasn't disrespected. He walked right away. He wasn't disrespected.
Fonseca literally said he's the penalty taker. I don't know why that changed.
You want everybody to fight every game, and you want everybody on this emotion. It's not Christian Pulisic.
It's Italy.
It's not. What are we talking about? It's not Christian Pulisic. He's doing exactly.
Nah, forearm to a throat as soon as you walk in that locker room. You do that to me.
That's dramatic.
No, seriously, no, I'm not even playing.
You
do that to me.
You
do that to me when we walk back out there. And maybe there's a bit of hyperbole in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting is you got to stand up for yourself because that seemed to me like he got sunned.
And I think the whole irony out of all of this is that both penalty kicks were missed, and there was a clear message sent from the manager, and from here on out, that would be disrespectful. If
of course,
if
because now you're also disrespecting the manager.
If there's
What
turmoil,
they need is another argument in the locker room right now.
At Milan.
Another problem,
Sure.
because
At
they
Milan.
have so many problems behind the scenes right now that he doesn't want to become a problem.
Yeah, you also can't let yourself get stepped on. At the end of the day, look at the quote. Listen to the words that Paulo Fonseca chose. I don't know why it changed. That means it's known that he was the penalty taker.
Right.
Yeah,
And so that
I'm
means
with you on
Tammy
that.
Abraham
So now-
purposely grabbed the ball from him and waved him off and said, no, I'm doing it, knowing that that's not his role.
But can I tell you something as well? I think there are moments in games when even the penalty kick taker understands that the striker needs a goal.
That's his role. You're the one who gives it then.
I get it. But maybe in the moment, Tammy was like, no. I'm in a moment. I'm in a groove. Give it to me. And maybe that's what was said in the moment. And Christian said, you didn't see Christian throwing his hands up, showing like these gestures of frustration.
There's maturity there.
He's not that guy.
there.
And maybe he said, you know what? Fine. I'll let him take it. But from here on out, it's very evident what the indication is. It's for Christian Pulisic to take penalty kicks. And that's that. With everything happening at Milan, it's like somebody left the stove on and there's just gas going into the room. And if Christian Pulisic really made a fit about that, that would have been like setting off a match in that room. And he knew not to set off the match. You know what? Worst case scenario, this happens. He's going to be the penalty taker from now on. Best case scenario, Tammy Abraham would have scored the penalty kick and none of this would have been talked about and it would have been handled in-house and it would have been, hey, Tammy, great goal. Christian's a penalty kick taker. All right?
There's one thing Milan fans don't want to see right now, and that's an unhappy Christian Pulisic or a guy that looks mad at the world, just like Teo Hernandez or Rafa Leao right now. And now maybe you put Tammy Abraham into that problem child category because I don't have the DNA in me to go, the manager said we're going to do one thing, but I'm going to go do the other thing.
Do you have the DNA in you to rip the ball away from the best player on the team either?
No, but I would have a conversation after.
If someone did that to you, I don't think you'd handle it with, we'll see what the manager says.
No. Well, the manager did a good job, but I would go in the dressing room and say, hey, Tammy, look, I know you felt like you had to take that penalty kick now, but in general, you know, I'm taking him from here.
Because
that's the tone you'd use?
I think it's difficult to do it to Teo Hernandez. Like, Teo Hernandez is a guy that says, hey, it's my penalty kick, and you have to respect it.
Remember, Leao did this first today.
There's ranks in a dressing room. Like, you know who the alpha is, right? In a football dressing room. A guy that's been at Milan, who's been winning titles, who has won a World Cup. There's a certain level of respect there. Did Teo win a World Cup? No, I'm thinking if it was his brother or were they both on the team. Regardless, he's been on the French national team. He has a certain status at Milan. And I don't know if Christian Pulisic is in that Alpha S tier where he is commanding.
I'm proud of the way he handled this thing. I really am.
He did it with so much maturity. And it's fixed. The situation is fixed, and Pulisic is not that guy to go barking, and I don't know if he has the status to command the dressing room like you want him to command at this point in his career.
He's the most informed player on the squad. And maybe I'm looking at it from a perspective of I want him to grab the mantle as a leader on the squad, not just someone who leads by a performance.
Do you understand? If you go to Milan, you're an American. You show up to Milan.
I don't care about that anymore.
But bro, listen to me.
Pulisic may never have a World Cup to stand on, though.
No, but let me.
Just saying.
Let me tell you. I mean, and Tony, you'll back me up here with dynamics in dressing rooms, which are very important. In a dressing room with European guys, where that American bias, it exists.
Stigma,
okay, but let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. In a dressing room, a guy that's on fire at Milan for 8 games, he hasn't won a trophy. He hasn't led this team to a Champions League title. He hasn't been consistent to the level where we're talking about him world-class season in, season out yet. 8 games in, and he's in there breaking things and being that guy that you want him to be. You know what the guys around him are going to be saying? This guy's played 8 good games, and this is how he's acting?
Yeah.
Come on.
And look, I'm not going to disagree with you.
It's Milan. It's not Austin FC.
I get it.
It's Milan.
And I'm not going to disagree with you. The point I'm simply trying to make is if we want to see Christian Pulisic grow to the guy that can be that leader on the pitch, the guy who can stand on his 10 toes. This was that moment. Yes, and I agree that maybe he shouldn't have done that on the pitch.
He took care of it
I'm
with
simply
maturity.
asking the question of what happened after. Because what I saw is someone get sunned on national TV And that is the best player we've ever produced as a nation. And that is currently the best player on this squad. And that's someone whose role it was to take that penalty.
We're thinking about it too much from our perspective.
I literally just said
there are truths on both sides. Curious what you all think. Tweet at us, message us at CBS Sports Golazo. I actually am really curious where people stand on this because I'm kind of with you, Alexis. I know you guys are in the same camp. We were supposed to talk more USMNT, but that was our whole chat, and I think it was a good one. Nico's so upset he's got Mate on his shirt. And coming up next, we are going to go through our top 10 golazos of the weekend. Nico, don't let